Some separated parents may benefit from the services of a parenting coordinator. But what is a parenting coordinator? A parenting coordinator is a hybrid between a parent educator, coach, mediator, and an arbitrator. The parenting coordinator is there to help especially those parents who find themselves in some degree of conflict over and over and over again. They're there to help them manage the conflict and come to hopefully successful resolutions. And they do that by either the coaching, finding the middle ground, or if that doesn't work, they're actually empowered to tell the parents what the resolution is, and the parents are expected to follow through. In fact, parents will sign a very detailed contract, a parenting coordination agreement, setting out the terms of the service provider's span of authority, what things they can enter into, not enter into, and how they're even going to go about, how they're going to go about providing services. You have to understand, though, that the parenting coordinator is not a band-aid for all separated parents who are in conflict. Indeed, there are certain circumstances under which it may not even be helpful whatsoever. Some of those circumstances include where there's serious domestic violence, serious and ongoing mental health problems, serious drug or alcohol abuse, and also if there isn't a good relationship between the parenting coordinator and the lawyers, or sometimes even between the lawyers, that too can sabotage the intended work of this service. Indeed, people who come to parenting coordination, by definition, at least one of them tends to be a high conflict person. These are persons who are apt to blame others for the issues before them. They can be cantankerous, and when they don't like their parenting coordinator or even their lawyer, that person can become the next target of blame. That's why you need good relationships between the various service providers, so that if a client makes spurious, vexatious, just inappropriate complaints about you, if you have a good relationship, you have a context to understand those complaints, and it just may be that that's a reflection on the client, not the service provider. Without those good relationships between the service providers, it's easier to get inducted into a high conflict parent's perception of events and targeting of new people. So the parenting coordinator is typically on board for a specified term. There is, this is a fee for service specialty, so people will be paying out of pocket for this. And again, it's not for everyone, but it is for those parents where there's a modicum of ability to get along, where they agree that they will abide by the terms of the parenting coordination agreement, and especially with those parents who notwithstanding their differences, truly want well for their children, and to some, I'm getting kissed here, to some extent or other, can separate their anger from the other parent and advance the needs of their children over and above that anger. So think of a parenting coordinator. Go to my website, yoursocialworker.com, click on the services link, click on parenting coordination. You'll read a very detailed explanation of the service as I provide it, but always check with your own service provider or intended service provider, because there will be nuances between us. We won't all deliver the service the same, and you should know how each person practices, or excuse me, at least the person who you intend to use, you should know how they practice it. I hope that's been helpful. That's about parenting coordination.